Good afternoon. I want to invite you all to stand up for just a minute and stretch. It's been a long afternoon, hasn't it? Good news is I'm the last thing standing between you and the main event. Yeah! All right, that's enough. Sit down. You know, I always dreamed of playing the shot. I didn't realize I'd be giving a speech instead of singing a song, but it's good to be here. Congratulations to all the graduates. It's an honor to be with you, with all of you here, to stand as witnesses with your friends, your families, your teachers, to stand as a witness of your achievement. This is a big day. You know, if you go on and earn a PhD someday or discover the cure for cancer, this will always be a day that you remember. From what I've seen of this class, one of you might do exactly that, find the cure for cancer. The commencement speaker at these sorts of things is supposed to give this really long speech about the beauty of the future and offer you all kinds of advice, what my kids call dad-isms, and cliches about how to live your lives and find success. Well, I'm not going to do any of those things. This, first of all, won't be a long speech. That's an applause line, folks. And I'll try to avoid the dad-isms, and I've never been much for cliches. It's why I can't watch cable news. What I want to tell you instead is the truth. You're all going to fail. I know what I'm talking about because, you see, I've failed many times, and I will again. What makes the difference is how we deal with the failures that happen. You know what I'm talking about in your bones. Some of you experienced failures before you came to Ecot. Some of you have experienced failures during your studies. Today, it's not the old failure that defines you. It's the success that flowed from your decision to enroll in Ecot. And we're here today to recognize that. There are so many stories here today, ladies and gentlemen, that inspire me. Stories, these are your children, your grandchildren, your friends that are inspiring. There's a man here today who fathered a son. He cares for him on the weekends. He dropped out of school when he was 18 years old. He had tough times. And he told me, when I talked to him, he said, you know, at that moment, I just didn't give a crap. By the way, did I mention the brain tumor? Tough times. And not much of a future. You know, even if he had gotten to go back to school, the cycle of chemo and radiation would have made him miss enough days of school that he would have been called in Ohio what we call a habitual truant. He was down and out, and it didn't look like there was a way up for him until he rolled in Ecot, a place that would work with him to learn when he was able to learn at a pace that he could handle while he did his best to live up to the obligations of fatherhood. His is a life of achievement, a life of triumph. Austin Weber, where are you? Would you stand up? Where are you, Austin? We're proud of you, Austin. You know, former President John F. Kennedy once talked about the three indispensable elements of the American character. He said they were religion, idealism, and patriotism. He argued that these three elements all combined to forge the quintessential American character of individualism. Now, there's a lot of talk these days, graduates. There's a lot of talk about community. And community is important. But there's so much talk about it, you almost wonder whether there's any place for individualism in the world today. But President Kennedy was right about the American character. And individualism is the nature of achievement. All achievement is individual. Yes, we can do great things together, and we do, but that achievement is the sum of the individual acts, the individual decisions that we make. The power of teamwork is not the elimination of the individual, it's the multiplication of the individual. 1 million multiplied by 0 is still 0. So, if you wonder, ask Austin. Nobody could have done that for him. No teamwork could have gotten him across the line. At the end of the day, Austin was the one that had to gut it up and get it done. As I look around the vastness of this huge arena, I don't see the class of 2015. I see 1,500 individuals who are about to be 1,500 individual graduates. You know, your class did not earn your diploma. You did. You did. You did. Now, no question that you received help and encouragement from your parents and your teachers and your school, absolutely. But there are other students who got the same help you did from their parents and their teachers and their school, and they're not here today because achievement is always individual. You know, depression and anxiety have biochemical causes, just like diabetes, and getting the medications right can be especially tricky. It's been tough for Nikki because her medications sometimes sap her strength and her energy and her motivation on top of dealing with her symptoms of depression and anxiety. She's also struggled with some deeply sad losses. She already has lost 10 people. I remember when I was growing up, I only remember one person that was close to me dying. She had 10 before she got to high school. When she was 11 years old, her grandpa died in her arms. It's hardly surprising that there were times when even effort and grit were not enough, moments when she didn't get done what she intended to do. But the dark moments of Nikki's life did not define her. During her 4 years at Ecot, Nikki had a chance to learn through an individualized, flexible plan, and she has achieved, as an individual, earning a grade point average of 3.5 and membership in the National Honor Society. Nicole Betch, please stand up and hold in your memory this graduation day in your heart. This applause is for you, Nikki. Every diploma today is a story with many turns, surprises, hardships to overcome, a story that today has an ending, a happy ending of achievement and success. I'm thinking of another young woman who couldn't afford to go to college. She's from Panama. She came here to Ecot, or her parents are from Panama. She came here to Ecot in her senior year, almost at the end of her high school career, because she wanted to earn enough money that she could go to college. And she couldn't manage to do that with the demands of a traditional school. But her need did not define her. In spite of working the extra hours, she too has achieved and earned her place in the National Honor Society. She's attending Northern Kentucky University on a 4-year scholarship worth more than $50,000. I'm proud to know Andrina Talafaro, and now you know her too. Andrina, where are you? So many stories, and today we mark your high achievement and record it for all time. Of course, when you leave here, graduates, you start a new story. Your next story will be like this one. There will be people who will help you at unexpected moments and unexpected ways, but it will still be up to you. Your achievement will be the product of your work as an individual, or there will be no achievement. Some of you will have a harder road than others, but all of you will face hardship and moments in which you will fail in some way. But each of you will have the choice to give up or go on, the choice to stand up or lay down. Decisions that can only be made by you, can only be made in your heart. You're going to seek work sooner for some of you after some additional training. And when you do, some of the people who conduct the job interviews, I've been in a lot of job interviews in my life, some of them are going to wrinkle their nose as they look at your resume and say, Ecot? What's that? Well, you'll explain the name and see that little purse of the lips, the slight frown that people sometimes give you when they're not quite sure what you're talking about. When they do, here's what I want you to tell them. Sir, every job applicant that comes through that door is going to tell you that they're a self-starter. But actions are more important than words, and let me tell you what I've done. I earned my diploma without having a regularly scheduled set of classes. I got up and studied and learned and burned that midnight oil and earned that diploma, working on my own, and nobody had to make me do it. That's right. And you go on and tell them, I'm the employee you're looking for. I'm organized and I'm disciplined and I get the job done because that's the way we do it at Ecot. Now, graduates, those interviews are going to have happy endings. And I'm excited for your future. They're going to go just fine. But in closing, I want to come and remind you of your mentors, the people that have helped you. I've had mentors too, and one of them was the former mayor of Columbus, Buck Reinhardt, a dear friend of mine, and we lost him this last winter. Yeah, Buck Reinhardt. He had a favorite story, and I'd like to close today by sharing that story with you. It's about Benjamin Franklin, the great founding father of our country. He was sitting one day in the spring outside Independence Hall in Philadelphia, enjoying the sunshine. And a woman came up and said, Mr. Franklin, I've read that Declaration of Independence of yours, and I want to know, where's all this happiness supposed to be? I look around at this country, we've got widows and orphans. Our country's been torn apart by war. The economy is sputtering. There's no money and people don't have jobs. So I ask you, sir, were you lying to us in that Declaration of Independence? When you founded this country, were you leading us on? What happened to all the happiness? Well, Franklin smiled, His eyes twinkled behind his famous square glasses. He said, "Ma'am, all the Declaration promised you was the pursuit of happiness. You have to catch up with it all by yourself." Graduates, it's out there. Let's go catch up with it.